When you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. When you have something, it starts to rain. My name is Val, and I make these videos to document the harsh reality of actually making money online and the things you need to deal with and the things you need to feel and face throughout your endeavors and your journey. And the goal of this video is to just show you the harsh reality and really reflect and show you different things I've been dealing with. And a good way to put it is new levels, new devils. It's a quote from Neural Knowledge where the more you achieve and the more you accomplish, the more things you really have to face. And I think this video will be a good example of that. And if you stay until the end, you'll learn how I'm reflecting on what I think I should be doing from here on out to continue to progress and grow, but also the situation I'm facing. So to kick things off, last month I made over $15,000. This month I'm on track to do the same. And I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video. If you want, you can watch the other videos and you can learn more about that as a whole. But the intention of this video is, like I said, to just really reflect. And I've broken this up into a couple different parts. The first part I want to talk about is nightmares, which is quite funny. I had a nightmare recently, and this isn't really scripted. There's a framework, so it's just different parts. But I had a nightmare recently, and to sum up the nightmare, I essentially had someone that used to be very, very close to me in my life take a lot from me. And I'm not sure if it was financially or mentally or whatever it was, but he took a lot from me in that dream. I guess in that dream it was material goods, just everything I've ever accomplished and gained and assets, whatever you want to call it. He took it all from me, basically stole it from me and put me in a position where I was fucked. Someone I trusted very, very much took everything. And it wasn't even a dream, if you really will, it was a nightmare. Getting something taken from you from someone you trust very, very dearly and someone who was very, very close, because for context, he was a mentor of mine in the past. And we haven't spoken for a long period of time now. He's gone down a different path in life where he does a different business model, he does different things. So watching him in my nightmare, I guess, watching me lose everything from the ones I trust the most, essentially, was a very weird dream and a very scary dream to have. And if you don't know, for context, I recently bought this watch and I spent a lot of money on it. And this video isn't a show off or taunt or whatever, or flex, but it's more so context to say, since I bought this watch, there has been more so the fear of what if it gets robbed, what if I lose it, what if it gets taken. And I guess it's just a matter of making more money. Last month was my first big month, if you will. And that first dream, or that constant nightmare, or just random nightmares of losing everything from the ones I trust, has been very weird, very weird. And it's been very regular. Now, that is the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second is maintenance. It's basically the fear of making less money or performing at a lower rate, which is something I've been noticing more and more. This month, I'm on track, like I said, to do similar numbers, but I constantly have this thought in the back of my mind where, what if I don't match what I made last month? What if I underperform? What if I make less? And it's a very weird thing where you constantly compare yourself to your prime, if you will, or the most you ever made, and you want to make sure you maintain that. And it's silly. Obviously, it is expected in business, but that is what this video is for, to show you the real things that people don't want to show you, and to really be vulnerable when others won't. But having to struggle with the nightmares, or maintaining money and trying to hope you do not make less this month and trying to work harder constantly, which is a good thing to an extent, but it puts you in a very weird it puts you in a very weird mental state where you do not want to drop your finances or perform less or perform worse. And part 2 kind of goes into part 3 with standards. I'm at a point now where nothing is enough, and sure, I made good money before, but I'm comparing myself to people that are doing 50, 100,000 a month. And then they're comparing themselves to people that are doing 200, 500, a million a month. And it's this endless cycle of, I'm not enough, and I'm poor, and I need to do better, and I need to perform better, and I need to optimize and scale, all these different aspects. It's a very weird thing you wouldn't really expect much, but maybe some of you would expect it, but standards definitely get higher, and that's something I wanted to mention. And part 4 is the perception aspect of things. The more I perform and the more I make, the more people look at me as if I've made it and I have it all figured out. And, like, whether we're going to nice dinners or whether we're just talking about a general concept, they talk to me and look at me as if, like, I've got it figured out. And obviously there's more respect and they listen more. But it's, like, a little bit dehumanizing. And I'm not saying, I feel bad for me. I'm saying it's a weird little aspect that I wasn't ever used to, where people would look at you as if you had everything figured out, or people would treat you as if everything you say is, like, very good. So To sum it up, it would be nightmares, maintenance, standards, and perception. I've been getting weird nightmares. I've had this fear of not losing where I'm at, maintaining where I'm at, I guess, and standards coming hand in hand with that, where I want to perform better and make more. And then perception, where people just look at you in a very funny and weird way, in a dehumanizing way. And to reflect everything, this is going to be a short video, as you've noticed, but to reflect everything, I think I need to just kind of neglect my emotions and not think too much, but more so do. Last month I didn't do much thinking. I just did what I had to do, and I closed more deals, and I worked harder, and I performed better, and I made my fulfillment better, and I worked, and obviously I did well, and the month before that same applied. So I need to put myself in a position where I don't just think. I need to figure out what my A+ problem is in my business, the biggest thing holding me back from doing better, and work towards performing at that rate. And I think, like I said, I need to just neglect my emotions, and as I scale, look to outsource and just put myself in a position where I do less work, that's lower leverage, and focus on the main things that are going to push the business up. And I think one of the biggest things I could do in the position I'm in is just focus on the bigger picture of what I'm building. Because what I'm doing is not about money, and now I'm not going to talk too much about what I am doing, but it isn't the focus of just make as much money as possible as some people might think. So I need to focus on the bigger picture of what I'm building. And I need to look to outsource as I scale so I don't burn out, because that happened in the past for me. And I need to just neglect my emotions, which sounds bad, but I don't think it necessarily is. But that is kind of everything I wanted to talk about in this video. It was just a catch up, it was just a breakdown of how everything's been going and how I've really been thinking, and like the small little observations I've noticed. But I didn't want this video to be about, me talking about my business. I know I mentioned some finances, I know I mentioned business, but if you do want to learn more about what I do, you can go and you can watch my first video where I talk about my entire journey. But for now, that is everything I have, and this is just an interesting style video I wanted to make where I just talk about small little differences I've been noticing. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.